I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
That is the only. Hey, listen, that's the only song I feel like I know all the words to. Just so you know. Hopefully, you guys like the new intro. It was. It's like a full-on face plant, in your face kind of intro. You know what I mean? Especially the ending. Will, thank you. Will Fly, thank you very much for adjusting our intro for tonight. I thought, and I don't know why, Will, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought you said you wanted to make a thumbnail. I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And it was the video, which I'm super excited about because it's funny. I've watched it a dozen times since you sent it to me, and I still laugh every time. It's hilarious.
Well, it was. Hey, what's up, Paramotor NC? Angela's in the house. Matt's Flipper. Hey, guys. Mr. Dana, what's up, dude? Actually, it was a thumbnail that I wanted to do, and then I forgot all about it. And then I remember you saying something about how it kind of be neat to have your face planted. Perfect. It worked out.
So what you're saying is we need to make a new thumbnail so I can stop putting up my stupid logo and or faceplant thumbnail.
I'm just thinking, if the thumbnail kind of said Paramotor Hangout and the show's called Paramotor Hangout, it would kind of remove a level of confusion.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday night Paramotor Hangout with Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane show. How about that?
You need to add all three of our names to it. It's not just me. Speaking of not just me or you, Will, Mr. Mark McElroy, how's it going on your 62 days of vacation?
I don't have any idea of what you speak, number one. Number two, it's going lovely.
Hey, how those beans come out? I didn't see the pictures.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They turned out great.
Well, I didn't get any photos or nothing of them.
Well, I'm using my phone to do a podcast right now.
I'm sorry, we're talking about earlier. You could have sent me some food.
I was busy. I had to go over to Pablo's and measure up his Parabox.
So, the very first photo of you today, you did not look very busy.
No.
Mark sends me a picture that Joni sent to him. She took of Mark and Mark's dog sleeping in the bed as Joni got up weary and tired and exhausted from all the work she's been doing. She had to get up early and go to work, and there's Mark, just like a homeless, not a homeless, but what do you want to call it?
Useless. I think useless is the proper word.
and this super expensive dog just literally sprawled all over pillows, and then there's Mark all curled up, and then the dog's got its foot on Mark's back, so it makes sure that Mark doesn't get out of bed without, letting the dog know. And yeah, it was a good photo, just so you know.
All right, that may be true. And we have the whole Waller clan not only watching us, I'm sure they're sitting around trying to plan the next time they invite us down to their house.
Well, they will invite us only after they move, and then we'll get an invite to the previous address.
Yeah, to the old house.
Yeah, like, yeah, what do you mean? We'll be there in a minute.
I knew we shouldn't have acted that stupid the first time.
I guess you was
Man, I forgot the cotton we picked.
Yeah,
Cotton. You can see it.
I can see Waller's text message. If we're not there in 5 minutes, just wait longer. And then the whole weekend will be over. Cops will be called. It's the whole process.
Hey, Will, speaking of that cotton, I'm going to have my agent call you tomorrow and discuss that little skit I did that I have never seen. I was very offended and I was hurt.
Yeah, the whole video and the whole weekend. Hey, do this, do that. Let's make this funny. And we never seen a bit of that video. I know exactly what you're talking about, Mark.
I should have just left my pants on now. I mean, this is ridiculous.
What are you guys talking about?
What do you mean? You did a
Seriously, what are
video.
you talking about? Huh?
You had a video. You were videoing everything, even Mark in the shower. I mean, it was the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now he remembers. Mark in the shower. He remembers that.
I got to quit drinking.
So what's new in the paramotor world? Anyone heard any latest and greatest? Walter Fiore, man.
I saw where somebody had an accident at Hodges Field at that little fly-in. But that's almost all I know. I know they carted him off in an ambulance. He had a broken collarbone and stuff.
Dang, man. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know any of the details.
I don't either.
I know he took a collapse at about 25 feet, and I saw a picture where the wing was about maybe 1/3 tucked in. And then I saw a picture of his x-ray. You know, all that stuff. I'm not friends with him. I can't remember his name. I recognized his name, but I just saw all that stuff online only.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, risk versus reward, right? So if you're maneuvering close to the ground, I mean, you'd probably be okay, but yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, my risk versus reward with being friends with you guys is the show. So
yeah, you might want to reevaluate that.
Yeah, that's the risk. Okay. So Mad Slipper's asking if he was doing acro. Mark, do you know that?
I do not know anything else. I'm done. That was all I know.
That's all I know as well, because Mark told me. I've heard or seen nothing of it. Brian just put in about he's at home at Southeast Alabama, but is it really? I mean, Georgia and Florida line's right there. So, I mean, is he really in Alabama?
Yeah, it's almost just northwest Florida.
Yeah, I can't even call it Alabama.
I mean, Brian?
Yeah, Waller.
Yeah, he's like right close to Dothan. That's Alabama.
You can't really call that Alabama. I mean, you can still smell the Georgia peaches and the incest from Florida.
Wait a minute. Don't they grow more peaches in Alabama than they do Georgia?
No.
That's pecan.
That's pecans and brother sisters. I'm just messing, Brian. Brian's like, oh, we just lost a viewer. That'd be Brian.
Yeah.
He's out.
Well, you might have just gained a panel member. Come on, Brian, defend yourself, bro.
Yeah, Brian is. I have said it many times. The way that Brian's demeanor is, and the way he goes through life, I literally tried to be in his shadows of what he would do in certain situations. I greatly appreciate Brian. I think he's an awesome guy. Just don't tell anybody.
All right, if you get invited back now, can I be your +1?
If Krista doesn't go.
All right, deal.
Yeah. So when is the last time you flew, Shane?
The last time you saw me faceplant, the flight right after that.
Okay,
Swanee.
so that would have been down in Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keep saying Sunnyland.
How about you, Mark?
I took a little 50-minute flight last
50.
Thursday.
Ask me
Last
why
time
I
I
haven't
flew
flown.
was November 16th. That's a
Golly,
lot.
that's a lot for you.
It really is.
So the reason I haven't flown is right now, while I was at Sunnyland, I realized that the sheathing on my brake line has come apart, and I need to get my brake line replaced. Not that my brake line is in any kind of real trouble, but when you look over and you see something that's not 100%, it is a little concerning. And I would rather just not fly until it's fixed, or wait till January when we all meet up and fly. Because that right now it looks like uh, I'm not going to get the lines replaced and or the pulleys installed until after Christmas. So it's going to be really close, tight time frame from the time I get it fixed to us meeting up to go fly.
You better get on the phone and order another wing then. You better do something.
Um, First of all, Juan, nice to see you, sir. Great to see you. Daddy Dutch, you say hi to Mark, not me. You may leave, sir. Goodbye. Good day.
Oh, he said a little bit about you. Go up about 5 posts.
Oh, now,
Chunky.
oh, here we go. Actually, I'm down about 45 pounds, to be honest with you. But camera puts on 62 pounds, so it's all good. Ah, man. Yes, they're the peanut capital of the world. They're all nuts in Alabama.
I like Alabama. Just wish it wasn't so damn far away.
Yeah, right. I mean, when you live right on the beach in South Carolina, I mean North Carolina, and in your mansion.
Oh,
Who are
that
you talking
reminds me. Hey, Will, prepare a place for me. I'm headed there tomorrow.
about? That sounds rather, I don't know, religious or something. Prepare a place for them. I don't know.
It's not just a place for Mark, but his 6 servants, butlers, and stuff.
Whatever. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to North Carolina tomorrow up to Greensboro.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you going to bring your equipment?
No, I'm going to bring my wife. That's all the equipment I can afford. uh, her son Matt is graduating college up there at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro tomorrow.
Mr. Dana in the last 2 evenings had some flying time. I got to get out there, man. I just got to get back to it.
Well, it has
So,
been absolutely flyable here in the afternoons, like the last 3 days, and it has been really hard to not go and fly. I'm not comfortable, and that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. When do you push the limits? When do you check your gear? And when do you decide now's the time when things aren't right? For me, my brake line is not correct. Um, it's totally usable. There's not really a danger of it not holding up, but do you take the chance? Do you not take the chance?
are you posing that as a question?
Yes, I'm posing it as a question. As things aren't 100%. Do you keep pushing it, or do you stop and take the time out to fix the problem?
There's the way I want to answer the question and the way I have addressed the situation that has come up. I mean, I've been on both sides of the fence with that. Fortunately, like if something happens at a fly-in, you're gonna pretty much have whatever you need there. There'll be someone who knows how to do whatever needs to be done and help you out. As far as lines go, I've had that very same thing happen. I've had just the outer sheathing separate, usually right there by the pulley. That's where mine is. That where yours separated?
Yeah, I have a porcelain eyelet, and over time of constantly pulling brake, it ends up cutting a V into it, and that V
Yeah.
ends up cutting the sheathing.
Yeah. Well, the sheathing itself, I mean, I agree. The sheathing itself is what's going to support you. It's the strands of Kevlar, the inner Kevlar. So, I mean, as far, I do look at the Kevlar and make sure that it is not damaged in any way, no loose strands or whatever. I've also actually taped pulled the sheathing back together after inspecting the Kevlar and then taped it. Just as a little extra. I mean, I would have no problem. I mean, not all lines are sheathed anyways. Some lines are unsheathed, right? So I wouldn't have any problem doing that. But I guess I would wonder why uh, what happened. And in your situation, it was the same as mine, right there at the pulley. You know, that's
Yep.
where it gets a lot of wear. So
So
I replaced my own lines. Have you replaced your lines yet? I mean, a line, or do you send it
nope,
away?
nope. I have had the very fortunate to have someone like um, fix my line both times. I didn't realize the first time that I had cut a V into the porcelain eyelet and went up and flew with a brand new line. And within 2 or 3 flights, the sheathing was again tore up. It was again for Todd. He helped me figure it out, replaced the line again, and I was back in the air. That has been maybe 100 hours that that happened, and he has been, that same line has been on there since then.
Yeah.
But I talked to Andrew Fuller, and my eyelets are actually sewed into the risers, so we're going to remove that and sew in pulleys to help get rid of that and replace both brake lines and start over. So let's see how that works out.
Shane's Planet Shane says, and I'm reading these for the. And by the way, we're on Apple Podcast now. We're also on Amazon and a few others. I can't remember, Google, and I don't know, a few others. So for the listeners, Shane Planet Shane said $20 for a line. Yep, I'll go ahead and replace the next sheathing, and I would too, absolutely. But if it came down to that, I'm not going to fly because of it, and I'm at a fly-in or whatever, and it's safe. Then I was confident in my decision, I would still fly. But I keep extra lines with me most of the time, just in case.
I can literally adjust that pulley and get it out of that V, but I did not realize it was cutting into the line until Sunnyland. During flight, I just happened to look over and see red line, white line, and back to red. I was like, oh, okay. And that was the reason why, Mark, that I landed that morning at Sunnyland is because it's just not right for me. I'm down. I'm coming down.
Well, you weren't missing anything, anyways.
I did not miss you coming into land like a butterfly.
Yeah. Not the best conditions.
Oh my gosh, this one's funny. John, oh no, that's not what I'm laughing at. John says that he super glued his sheathing before. Shane's Planet Shane says heck, I'd fly a line tied together with a knot if it's all I had and I thought it would work. I've done one. I've done one on order. I've got one on order though. Yeah. Well, I can't say I haven't done silly stuff like that, but
that's what my wife did. I mean, she didn't have nothing else, so she just married me. I mean, it's understandable.
You weren't the best option. You were the only option. It must have been.
There technically wasn't the only option, but the other option didn't really want any part of it, so she got.
Was the other option breeding or not breeding?
I don't really know because this went a whole different direction that I was trying to make a joke about, but Will just made it dark and deep, and now I got to go outside to check the weather.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and And he's talking about a brake line also versus like a center A. So
Yeah, that they, you know what? That's a good point. Now, if it's an A and the sheathing is coming apart, I mean, I would really concern me there because I want to know why the heck that is. Now, I've had lines break right at the malleon. I've had that happen. The little loop that goes over the malleon.
yeah.
But there was an incident in Georgia at a fly-in, and someone was flying with a known weak A, and they told him that you better replace that line. And not judging here, okay? I may have done the same thing in the same situation, but sure enough, that A line snapped, and he had to throw his reserve. Everything was fine.
I thought this was my therapy session for having a dumbass dad.
It is actually.
That's pretty good right there.
Let me,
Oh. All right, we want evil back.
Yeah, that was funny. Did you put her up to that thing?
there's my daughter. Now we know what.
Let's take a poll online which of those two we'd prefer to hang out with.
Yeah. So we were talking to Shane. We were talking about, Mark brought it up about the fact that, well, if it was an A line, it could be a completely different situation. I would totally agree with that. And
Right.
so, and you remember in Georgia, there was an individual who was flying with a known weak A line, and he kind of ignored it and went up anyways. And the line snapped. He threw his reserve. Everything was cool. Came down just fine. And so, totally agree. Now I've had B line snap in the air, and I didn't even freaking know it until I landed. Which, yeah.
No,
I have never.
If I looked up and seen an A or B that just wasn't right, oh, I'm coming down, bro. Like right now, it's
Yeah.
I am 100% confident in my skills, and I have complete and total trust in my equipment. If I look up and my equipment is not right, I'm not in panic mode, but I'm in the mode of getting down and on the ground and work it out there. I don't want to figure it out when it collapses or breaks. To me, it just, again, I've said this in the past shows. A brake line breaking off and me holding the brake handle with nothing attached to it is my worst. Like, it's not my worst fear, but it is my worst fear, if that makes sense. Like, because how do you land? You're gonna have to reach back and grab your C's and
No,
fire at the
your D's.
or whatever.
If he's got D.
I don't think it's the end of the world, that situation. I don't think it would be that bad.
I'm gonna have to.
I don't either.
I think I'm gonna have to talk Mark into buying me a new prop and possibly a cage, and we're gonna try it. Just stow my brakes and reach back and grab the C's or D's, whatever it is that I have on my wing, and try landing that way.
This coming from the king of big ears, you just reach back there and grab it and pull. You'll be fine.
As soon as you pull big ears, you drop about 10, 15 feet.
You see
That's
John.
what I want.
Yeah. John says he doesn't know for sure, but he's glued several few things together over the years and never had any problems. So there you go, a vote of confidence from John.
John's got so much soul.
But I'm pumped.
If that line breaks, it's likely going in the prop. I would think. I don't think so. Depending on where it broke,
I think it would just be trailing out the back.
yeah, I don't.
Maybe he means the toggle. Is that?
Like it came from the toggle. It'd have to break 3 or 4 feet up, and then it would be a possibility of it getting into the prop. But then again, what difference does it matter? You have no brakes. You have no brake, I should say. You have one brake. Don't pull that one and only that one.
I'm going down.
Yeah, right.
Well,
What?
hey, the things I'm telling you, I had a situation where I had my glove sucked out of my bag, and I had the 360 on, so I caught what had happened. But it got sucked out of my bag, went back to my prop, and then the glove hit the prop and shot straight up, and just underneath the underside of the wing on one of my, I think it was my C line, it was just hanging there. The glove was just dangling there. So I mean, yeah, you never really know what's going to happen. But
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't want it to get sucked in. That would, if it did get sucked into the prop and got reeled in, you're tossing a reserve or just hitting the dirt.
does anyone in the chat replace their own lines, or do you send it off to have it done? And Mark, you said the line set didn't cost much, or that much,
Yeah,
but what is it, $700 or $800?
yeah, I think it's under $1,000, which if you had a good wing, then that's not bad at all compared to $4 grand for a wing. I haven't had my line set changed out yet. I think she just had to change out one or two lines when I crashed mine there at my house a long time ago. And John Wayne said he has replaced the line set.
Few lights. Shane's Planet. Shane, I sold a glider and its beeline broke. Knows the guy. A few flights later. Uh-oh. We lost Shane. It's
Yeah.
on you, Mark. It's on you, dude.
Well, I'm thinking just count our blessings. All right, does anybody want to talk bad about Shane before he gets back?
Yeah. I guess I could go through the list and say hi to our chatters. Want me to? Got
Yep, go
Matt
ahead.
Sloper, and Shane's having computer problems. I know that from earlier. Mr. Dana 54 and Angela Preslick and Paramotor NC. What's up, Ben? Shane's Planet Shane. Brian Waller. Got Mark McElroy. Angela Preslick. I think I said that. And Bill H. What's up, Bill? And Daddy Dutch.
Yeah, we got Keith and Kat in the house. If there's Keith, there's Kat. And if there's
What's
Kat,
up,
there's
Keith?
Keith. Just so you know.
Oh, Slow Days. Let's see if I missed anyone.
John.
John Wayne.
I haven't flown with John slow days in forever. It's about that time. Once I get my line fixed.
Where's he from?
Who? Slow days?
Walter Priori.
Oh, he's from that place called Florida. I mean, what is it called? Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Which I just found out today, thanks to TikTok, that Australia has a abundance of feral camels from the early 1900s. They brought in camels for travel, and then the vehicle came along, and they got rid of, they stopped using camels and just let them go, and now they have a abundance of feral camels that are not native and are taking over the place.
Well, I learned something new. What's up, Scuba? You say Keith and Kat are in the house?
Yeah, Keith and Kat are. Hey, look at here. We'll go ahead and get that one right there.
Never trust a skinny chef, Shane. Question: why don't I trust skinny chefs? Answer: because you can never be sure if they're really tasting the food or just licking the spoon.
There you go. If it isn't a healthy chef, you can't really trust them. Now there are exceptions, like Gordon Ramsay. That dude is always doing something active. But for the most part, if it's not a hefty dude cooking your food, nah, he's not tasting it.
Yeah, you got a point there. Let me see. Scuba, what's up? Brandon McElroy, what's up, man? Pablo Pyro. Just don't want to miss anyone. Did I say Tony? I think I said Tony.
He likes to hear his name. You could just say it again.
Tony. I called it. I sent him some stickers, and I put his name. I said Angela and Kevin and Angela, which are my neighbors or have been my neighbors, and I'm so used to saying that I wrote Kevin and Angela instead of
Tony and Angela. Well, Tony's not used to hearing his name either. Just ask Angela.
That was moderately funny. I like that.
Usually he's used to. Are you still awake? Are you still awake?
Are you still there? Hello.
Is it cold outside?
Oh yes.
Oh, poor Tony. He can't even defend himself. He's not on the board. So, I feel bad picking on the helpless. Angel said, "Okay, that was hilarious or hysterical." Oh man!
So, respond to the line question about does anyone replace their own lines? Perfect matching, replace pairs. Shane's Planet Shane says, I've sent in a line and purchased 2 matching, replace a pair, of course. I've also measured lines and had them sent. That's a good point. That's right. So if you're going to replace one side, you need to replace the other side too. So they're actually stretched the equal amount or whatever. They're identical. If you're replacing the left, replace both.
That's what I'm doing is replacing both brake lines, even though that I've only had problems with one. Just going to go ahead and replace both of them and be done with it.
If you say 3 times in a mirror, a boy band shows up behind you and sings.
Hey, if I didn't like Tony so much, I wouldn't pick on him, just so you know. You can always tell how much I like you by how much I pick on you. If I pick on you a lot, you're good with me. If I don't pick on you that much, then well, we're working on it.
He says, "Yep, ×2."
So, what part of your equipment, like if you have a cracked exhaust, and it's not that bad, it's just the hairline cracked, you can continue to fly? Do you call it a day? I mean, at what point do we say, okay, enough's enough, it's not safe?
I mean, it would depend on what it is, in each case. Because if you had a hairline crack, what's it going to do? It's going to crack more. So that's, it's not like it's going to take you out of the sky, most likely.
Well, I can tell you that at Dave Purden's, I think it was my very first year. Matter of fact, I know it was. I had 87 hours on my motor, and I got a Y19 that cracked, and I was out. I didn't get to fly the rest of the time. I think I was literally the second flight or third flight that I had taken there. Which, by the way, I'm flying along, and I'm like, dude, why do I hear like a Mustang, like old plane behind me? And I was like, what is that noise? I kept looking. I was like, something's not right with my motor. And I ended up landing and finding that I had a cracked exhaust, and that was it for me. I've been to, North Carolina for Jeff Pearson's fly-in, Flight If You Got It, and my silencer, the packing in there came out, and actually about 50 feet off the ground from takeoff, it killed my motor. I circled back around and landed. And I overnight shipped a new silencer, but someone there had a brand new silencer still in the packaging and everything, gave me that one. And as soon as the other one got delivered, I gave him back that brand new one. So, I mean, I didn't have a choice on whether or not I wanted to fly or not. The packing clogged up the end of it and had a motor out. Mark, if you knew that your kill switch, which just happened to you not too long ago, wasn't working, would you fly with it?
If I knew it before I launched, no. Because I don't think it's that unsafe to fly with it not working. But I'm not, it doesn't matter that much to me whether I fly or not. So
Right.
therefore, that being the case, I would probably skip. But I mean, if I knew that I had somebody that could kill it once I was on the ground, I would fly it.
Well,
I wouldn't want to take it off. I wouldn't want to have to take the motor off my back to kill it on the ground.
I did that. I think my motor had 16 hours when my kill switch died, and I literally took the motor off. Which, by the way, total fear. Like I put my three fingers on the bottom side of the exhaust and pushed out so it couldn't come back in, and took the motor off, reached back and hit the primer bulb and killed it. And Mark, I 100% agree with you. I mean, it's scary to have a motor come off your back, not attached to you, and have to take it off to kill the motor. But I mean, it happened to me in flight, and when I landed, there was nobody there, so I had no choice but to take the motor off my back and hit the primer bulb to kill it. It was nerve wracking for sure.
Yeah.
This is for you, Mark.
I don't know who that guy is.
Not a flyer, but I asked Mark this earlier tonight. What is your reaction to a stuck throttle?
Oh, yeah, a stuck throttle. If you're in the air, you'd either have to fly that out or loosen up your straps or take off a little bit of your straps to be able to kill the motor. If your kill switch didn't work and your throttle was stuck, then you'd have to kill it, one way or the other.
So I've never thought about that. Like, I remember asking this question during class: what happens if your throttle sticks? And it was one of those, well, you're going to go up as high as you're going to go up until you run out of gas. And I was just like, oh, if you're not comfortable with that height, I don't know what you're going to do about it, but hold on, because it's going to happen.
I mean, and you'd have to have two failures at one time for that to be an issue. Because otherwise you just press your kill switch and kill it, and who cares?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if that would be so much of a problem for me unless I just filled up, took off, and then I had a full tank and we were just going to go for a ride. That would be a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't want to push my motor that hard. I wouldn't want it to be wide open for an extended amount of time. Not like that.
What is wide open? How well, Mark, you have a larger fuel tank compensating for whatever, but
If that's the case, I need to put a second tank on.
But how long, if you were to fill up your motor and it just ran wide open on takeoff, how high and how long do you think you'd fly before it ran out of fuel?
Wide open? Probably at least, especially with mine, it would be it'd be over an hour for sure.
Oh God, easy.
You'd be passing jets.
Hey, look, there's a Delta plane. I welded that.
Pablo Pyro was saying he flies Pluma so that he can reach his master switch, his master power switch, and so he basically has 2 kill switches.
Hey, we have a new guy in here called A-Lines. Welcome.
What's up,
And
Elon?
I seen somebody else in here we didn't say hi to. I don't remember.
Pearl Jam.
Yes, Brian. Yes, he finally was able to leave um, Easy Pace after 17 years of waiting for his motorhome to get fixed. Then he went to Sunnyland, and I don't know if he's left Sunnyland yet or not, but he just had his truck and his trailer there. Didn't have that big expensive motorhome that Mark wants to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice motorhome he's got.
Oh, good point.
Matt,
Go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, Matt Sloper says, why not attach a rope or whatever to the top of the spark plug cap and pull the cap off? And I have thought of that, and there are some that have done that. I guess my only concern with that is got to be real sure it doesn't go through the prop, you know.
Here's a really good point. Will, you know all about this. You won't make it over like 5,200 feet.
With an atom, you wouldn't gain much if that's exactly right, man. You don't have to be worried about that, especially if it's a hot humid day.
Man, I felt so bad for you, Will. Like, first of all, that me going to a Mile High Club or whatever it was, like literally, my focus was just to get there and get down. Like, I had no idea Will was struggling because I just looked straight ahead and just was like, come on, come on, come on. I just kept looking at my watch going, not there yet, not there yet. It was
Well,
something else.
No worries, man. It is what it is. And now I can tell you the first time I got to a Mile High was by accident. I wasn't even trying to do it, you know. So that was pretty soon after I got the Moster.
That was the same thing with my first kid.
What? You got the 22?
No, I didn't mean to.
Oh, you didn't mean to.
Mark, you're in the same boat.
I don't know what you guys are even talking about.
I have an issue with that, Tony. Has anyone heard anything about Salton Sea fly-in? Seems that there's a problem this year. The only thing I heard of is that the roads that are trying to get there was a bit of an issue, but I thought they had resolved that because of all the rains or whatever. I don't know. What do you think, Shane? Feet in the air, fly for fun. What?
It rains in Arizona?
Apparently so. James
Or in
Plant, Shane,
Vegas?
a few moments for me to reach 5K above the ground. Is it not the same for most? It is definitely not the same between an Atom 80 and a Moster. Now, an Atom 80 can get to a mile high. There's no question about it. I know you've done that. You said. But on that day, the way my motor was performing, or the atmospheric conditions, I don't know what it was. I just could not get to a mile high with it.
Yeah, I never understood that, to be perfectly honest with you, Will. Why there was so much struggle for you to go that day. Like I have no idea why that was even an issue.
Well,
And I'm not poking fun. I'm legitimately confused on why it wasn't possible that day.
I don't know. I really don't. And like I said, it could have been that the carb wasn't tuned correctly. I can tell you. And John Wayne says he didn't think I'd even get off the ground in Colorado Springs with his old Atom. But the thing is, remember at mountains, the flying in the
Mountain
mountains.
City, Mountain City.
Yeah, moonshiners. I had to run and run and run just to get off the ground there with my Atom. So who knows, man?
I had trouble with my Moster to get off the ground at Mountain City, and that was mainly because the winds kept changing directions, and you go to take off, and the wind's hitting you in the face, and then halfway through your run, it changes direction. Now you have to run even faster, and the density there was crap. Um, so, yeah, it's that place to me. I think I'm going to go back this year. To be honest with you, only and I this sounds so bad. Not to hate on the place. It's a tough place to launch from, but Krista, my wife, and I absolutely loved as much fun as we had in that creek. That's why we're going back.
Yeah, but you contaminated the creek for everyone else. You know.
No.
Stay upstream.
Yeah. No,
Same.
just riding down the little rapids and stuff was a blast, dude. We had so much fun there.
It was this last year was a lot easier. So I won't say that it wasn't a bit of a challenge. Still, it was.
Right.
It was nothing like it was the time before. And super glad I went. I'll be going next year too.
I'll be there. We could talk. I may end up bringing the big camper instead of the cargo trailer, mainly for the purposes of the middle of the night having to get on the golf cart with the wet seat of the dew that's there heavily at night, and driving Krista to the bathroom at the FBO and then coming back. It's not anything I'm really interested in. There's so much trouble.
Hey, Tony is ready for an update on the Predator van.
The Predator. No, the Predator DQ van. Oh, that's...
The update is I'm down to 14 things on the punch list, and she'll be ready, waiting for that little music box system to come in. You know, with the speakers on the outside.
So,
and she'll be ready.
Will, have you been doing a video for that?
I have not.
What?
And I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do that. But I mean, I'll do the end product. You know, this is the stuff this is why I want this. You know, I'll just kind of do an introduction, basically. Do my new home away from home. Really looking forward to it. I mean, it's nice to have your own space when you need it, and I mean, tent fun and everything, but yeah, kind of rather not stand at that.
I completely understand about the space. You know, it's nice to have the space when you need it. My waistline when I lost the weight was like, man, it's nice to have the space now.
Yeah, I can work. So, yeah.
Oh, here, Keith has a question. Mountain City, is that 4,000 or 5,000? I think it was 3,800 feet.
3,000 feet, Mountain City, but the density altitude there is closer to 4,000. So that's how your motors.
Now, I will tell you, I did not have an issue with my motor running oddly there. It was just simply the wing not getting the lift that I'm used to. If I take 15, 20 running strides, I'm up in the air. There, it was twice as many, if not even more than that, to get off the ground. For trikes, Keith, you have no problems with your trike. You just hit the gas and just keep going until you get lift. But there's only so much these 48-year-old legs can run, and at some point they give out and quit. So it was. I should not judge it on my one and only time of being there. Perfectly honest with you. Again, I'm not hating on it. Once you got in the air, it was absolutely a gorgeous place to fly. I seen my first bear. Actually, it's my second bear from the air that I was actually visibly able to see. and it was amazing. It's gorgeous once you get up in the air. It is amazing there. It's just a lot of work to get into the air. What do we got here?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tony says he thinks the issue with Salton Sea is the camping has been banned at the beach area of Salton. Isn't that the place where they had all the hay bales lined up to try to keep people from flying around there? Or they've got some kind of restoration um, program going on around the lake or whatever? I might be thinking about a different one, but
I'm an East Coast flyer, so I know nothing.
Yeah. I flew out there on a plane one time to California. That's about as far as that's gone. I wasn't even flying yet when I went out to California.
yeah. So Matt Sloper heard the same thing. So I don't know. One of these days, I'm going to go to West Coast flying, and when I do, most likely it will be flying circus. Absolutely.
No, I can speak for me and Mark. That is never going to happen in my. It's not even in my wheelhouse. That just seems too chaotic. Not, and I'm only going by what the stories I've seen and heard. It just does. It seems too much for me. Maybe 20 years ago when I was younger, I'd be all about it, But I don't know. It just seems a little chaotic to me. People shooting bowling balls in the air by a cannon.
Yeah, all right. Throw money out of an airplane, and
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's kind of like one of those bikers weeks, like Bikers Week at Myrtle Beach. I'm glad I experienced it once, but I wouldn't want to live there while that was going on.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'd have to pass.
I've been at Daytona Bike Week many times, and I've had a blast. But would I like to live there while it was going on?
No. 24 hours a day. Yep.
That's not for me, bro. That's a little bit much. But yeah, I'm already planning to go back to Mountain City because this year I missed it and I kind of regretted it. And then after it was over with, I'm like, all right, I need to go. I gave it one try, and I shouldn't judge it off of that one try. Is more or less what I'm getting at. And I believe I will bring my big camper, especially if Krista doesn't come. I'm showing up with a tent and calling it a day. I'm cool with that. But if my wife comes, I'm bringing the camper, and we'll go from there.
And right. I'm probably going to pass.
I'm telling you, Mark, you really ought to reconsider.
Yes, Mark.
I'm just being honest with you. Like Shane said, and I don't think you've given it a fair shot there. Just one, if you go again and it's the same experience, which I don't think it'll be.
Mark, no cameras allowed, but I will let you get on the raft first, and then Krista can, you guys can share a raft, go down the rapids.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't go over there to the creek except for when that one guy, I don't remember who it was, but that one guy decided to ditch it into the creek. So I did. That's the only time I got over there in the creek.
There is one guy and one guy only I will ever give credit to on being able to keep on his feet on some slimy rocks and not fall down. Dude, that guy has some talent. He must be used to dripping I don't know, like blizzard or something on the ground and then stepping on it. He must be used to that slippery surface, but Jesus, I don't know how the hell you did that.
Yeah, I got lucky. It's all I can tell you. I think the wing supported me.
So. Didn't put his wing in either.
No. Hey, Keith, if Dave is really doing that, let me know because I would love to do that.
He absolutely loves Paramotor. So what Keith just said there, if you're in the area, give Dave a call. And he's just an awesome dude. Great guy to hang out with.
Nope, I hung out with
Real
him many times, and super nice guy. And he does love aviation, and it's pretty awesome there. Uh, so yeah, I judged my return or my lack of return on Mountain City because of my first go round, and I shouldn't have done that, to be honest with you. So I will convince Mark.
Really good this year. There you go. Another vote for Mountain City.
Yeah, I will convince Mark of going to Mountain City. The dude gets 62 weeks a year of vacation, and he goes to work like 4 times a week.
Listen, I'm on a budget.
Uh, now I'm actually even talking or thinking about going to what is it, the one in Wisconsin, Northern Lights. I'm actually even thinking about doing that one, but here's the catch to that. I think I'm gonna fly up and do a hotel and all that other stuff. I don't think I'm gonna actually go and fly because it is literally a 24-hour drive from here to there.
Which one is that? Northern Lights.
That's up in Tomahawk, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The first one was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Nope. I'm have already researched some prices on some flights up there, and I don't think I want to drive it. I drove it once to go to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and it was a 22-hour flight, and this is about 4 hours north of that. So none of that seems exciting to me. Just so you know.
Oh Lord.
It would.
Yeah,
It.
in the middle.
What's that?
Yeah, EFD. Bill H said EFD is in the middle. Fredonia, Kansas. So that's also on my bucket list.
That one would be more so than Flying Circus. Just so you know.
You know, if I went to Flying Circus, I wouldn't drive out there. I don't believe I would fly out there. I wouldn't even bring my equipment. And
Right.
I mean, there would be someone there that let me go up on a motor or whatever. So I would still want to experience it.
Yeah, Angela just said you can get cheese. Let me tell you something. When we went to Wisconsin, we went to where they actually made the cheese curds, like fresh. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. When you get fresh cheese, when you chew it, it actually squeaks on your teeth. That only happens within the first couple hours of fresh cheese. So when you go there and they literally are making the cheese and you chew it or eat a piece, it'll actually squeak on your teeth. Once they package it and ship it off, it doesn't happen. It loses its, I guess, squeak, if you will.
Has anyone seen or heard of what? Walker Priori from Australia. Has anyone seen or heard of Pete Smith?
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, man, wonder what he's up to.
Him and his favorite toe shoes. His shoes have they're designed for each toe. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
of
Yeah,
where the toes go.
yeah, I'm like, I don't understand why that was a choice, but hey, what do I know? So I just seen on Paramotor for Beginners, I believe it was today's. They posted something about I think it was Costa Rica, that for like $125 you can ship your motor and your wing overseas each way, or you can rent equipment there to fly Costa Rica. And I'm kind of interested in that. Just so you know, I think the equipment rental's $250 to $500. I'm gonna look more into it, but I am seriously interested in taking a trip to Costa Rica and doing a paramotor cross country there.
That would be interesting. I'd be interested in something like that.
Dude, that sounds like a ton of fun. But I would rather spend 300 to get my gear over there than I would spend 500 to go for one day on a cross country.
I tell you, so, and I'd like to hear yours, but flying circus, EFD. But the big things on my bucket list is I want to fly the pyramids. That's
Yes.
the big one. And
Yep.
and for that, of course, I would just rent the equipment. I think you can rent it over there. I don't know how much it is, but man, that was just, I mean, how I watched the video on it last night. Someone was maybe on the show or something, but how close they were to the pyramids and like no obstacles around them.
Mhm.
And like it was impossible. You know, I mean, you've seen the pyramids how many times growing up as a kid, you know, and on National Geographic and how big they are. And that just something tells me that would just be a real spiritual, magical time.
Well, clearly you watched National Geographic for something completely different than I did.
Well, no, I don't watch the enlightened stuff like PBS and stuff like you do, but you know, or is it NPR?
I don't know what you're speaking about. I'm just talking about the all natural tribe members. Just saying.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, back in the good old days. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
we're past our hour mark. Speaking of Mark, where can we find you on social media, sir?
On YouTube at Paralife PPG.
And Mr. Will Fly.
You can find me on YouTube. Just search for Will Fly, or you can go to willflyppg.com.
And you can find me on here at Number Trusted Skinny Chef Shane or TikTok at ppgskinny.com. And we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time, got no filter.